Aries, and welcome to your October 2018 love reading with Divine Love Tarot. I want to welcome you to my channel, whether it's your first time or you're a return viewer subscriber. Thank you, and I hope the message resonates, okay? Now, if you find that the message isn't resonating for you, two things. Keep in mind that it's a general reading, and it's not going to resonate with everyone. Some of the reading may resonate with you, some may not. Also, if this particular sign isn't resonating, then you may want to check out your moon sign, your rising, or even your Venus, because sometimes those planets may be more prominent in your chart. And if you have any questions about what that means, you can go ahead and contact me or ask a question in the comments, and I will show you how to find out that information. All right, guys. So also, if you are a subscriber, if you haven't subscribed and you do enjoy my videos, go ahead and subscribe, and make sure you guys click for the notifications, that little bell, the little notification bell, because I will be running a giveaway for hitting 5,000 subscribers, and I'm very psyched about that. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for everybody who supports me every month. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys who donate to me and donate to the channel. And I do like to give away free readings. I do have a Patreon site where I'm giving away stuff monthly, but I kind of put that on pause because a lot of people, it's like they subscribe, then they unsubscribe, and then they, whatever. So, but yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more on the channel and doing giveaways. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed and that you set up for notifications so that you don't miss those videos. Because anything that's not a tarot video literally gets like 100 views. Okay. Can't explain it. Doesn't matter. I could do 2 videos in between. One video could have 1,000 views. The next one could have 2. And the video that's telling you guys I'm doing a giveaway will have like literally 35 views. All right, guys. Okay, get into the reading. All right. First card is going to represent your current energy. We've got the King of Cups. All right. Next card is going to represent what your challenge is. And we've got the World card in the reverse. All right, next card represents what you're coming out of, past energy. And we've got the Empress. All right, next card represents the future, the energy you're moving into. Got the Knight of Pentacles. Next card represents what you want. Oh, 4 of Wands. Next card represents internal factors. Ace of Swords. Next card represents your advice for the reading, the Knight of Cups in reverse. Next card represents external factors, and we've got the 5 of Wands in the reverse. And the next card represents your hopes and your fears. We've got the 5 of Cups in reverse. And then the last card represents the outcome for the reading. Why do I feel like I'm running out of spice? All right, the outcome for this reading, and we've got the Tower in reverse. Okay, interesting. So, starting off with the King of Cups. All right, the King of Cups represents loving energy, warm energy. The King of Cups represents patience and understanding, balanced emotions. Okay, the King of Cups knows how to express himself emotionally. Okay, so you may be dealing with someone who represents the King of Cups. Okay, maybe a water sign or someone who has that gentle, loving demeanor. King of Cups also stands for romance, so maybe this is a romantic time in your relationship, or you've just met someone, or you're dating and you're having a good time. If it's not a water sign, like I said, it could just represent someone, or this could be your energy, Aries. You could be feeling like the King of Cups. You could be feeling loving and romantic, and possibly even wanting to offer someone some love. Okay, clarify that, and we get the 4 of Cups in reverse. So the 4 of Cups in reverse represents not taking things for granted anymore, okay? So it's one of those situations where the 4 of Cups is actually better in reverse, and it indicates kind of opening up a little bit more, a new outlook, okay, a new direction, basically appreciating what you have, okay, versus focusing on whatever didn't go right or whatever you don't have. Okay, Aries. Now, what your challenge is the world in reverse. Okay, so with the world in reverse, there could be something that you feel is not complete. All right, or you feel like there's a situation that isn't quite where you would like it to be. Okay, the world in reverse means it's almost like unfinished business. Okay, so some of you may feel like you have unfinished business somewhere. Also, with the world in reverse, it can indicate not feeling like, okay, the world card can represent feeling complete with someone, feeling like someone and you mesh very well. So when that's in reverse, maybe you feel like your challenge is that you feel like you're not quite meshing with someone that you would like to mesh with, okay? Go ahead and clarify that. And we've got the Two of Pentacles also in the reverse, okay? So the Two of Pentacles in the reverse can indicate the ability to commit to something or something that you're struggling with. So it could be a situation where you're struggling with, trying to maintain the romance in the situation. Maybe you feel like, maybe the King of Cups is the focus because you're trying to focus on romance and you're trying not to take things for granted, but maybe you're struggling because for some reason you feel like you're not connecting with this person. Okay, for some others, there may be a situation where you're struggling because you're juggling feelings for multiple people. Okay, now, because I say you're juggling doesn't necessarily mean there's cheating involved. I'm just saying that sometimes when you have a place in your heart for someone, whether that person's in your life or not, those feelings tend to take up space, and sometimes it interferes with what you're trying to do with another person. All right, because coming out of this past energy, we've got this Empress card. So, Empress can represent someone who is a Taurus. If it's not a Taurus, it can just represent someone who you had a really loving and nurturing connection with, someone that you were really drawn to, someone that you really loved or were in love with, and vice versa. Okay, the Empress can also represent a wife or a mother. So whether that's you or whether that's your wife or your mother, they really were a big influence in your past energy, okay? What you're coming out of. It may be a situation for those of you who are married that you're trying really hard not to take, this marriage and your relationship for granted, and you're trying to put the, romance back into it. But if you haven't been connecting, that can make it difficult. That can make it a struggle. All right, go ahead and we clarify. We get the Hierophant, okay? So for some of you, it definitely is a Taurus. But for others of you, it can just represent a relationship, okay? I feel like whether it was a marriage or whether it was, a commitment to someone, maybe some of you have decided not to take your commitment for granted anymore, and you're going to try to be more romantic. But like I said, it's just some of you are having a struggle because either you're juggling other people or you're just not able to feel connected to the person that you're trying to be romantic with. All right. Moving on to the future energy, we've got the Knight of Cups, okay? So the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles represents taking things slow, okay? The Knight of Pentacles represents that time where things are kind of routine. It represents needing to have patience, okay? The Knight of Pentacles is reliable, though, all right? For some of you, this can indicate an earth sign. So for those of you who are dealing with a Taurus, this person, it seems to be a very big influence on you. For others of you, though, this could just represent another earth sign or someone who is reliable, okay, will offer you security. They just may be a little bit slow as far as the commitment is concerned. All right, let's go ahead and clarify that. And we get the Queen of Wands, okay? So you may be dealing with another Aries or possibly even a Pisces. And, you know, don't shoot the messenger, because I know you guys are like, where do you keep bringing up Pisces? Because they keep coming up. Okay, and I feel like Taurus. So there's definitely some of you who are return viewers that are either in relationships with Tauruses, or, you know, you're cross watchers that are Tauruses and Pisces, because these signs keep coming up in a lot of the Aries readings, and an Aries connection also. All right, but if not a person, okay, because it doesn't necessarily always have to represent a person, but the Queen of Wands just represents a spark, okay, a very positive spark in a relationship. If it's your energy, it can represent you feeling very confident, very cheerful, very sexy, all right, very Aries. So that could just be your energy, and you know, you're in a good place, all right? Moving on to what you want, and we've got commitment, taking things to the next level, okay? The Four of Wands, it's a lovely card. It's a very lovely card. It's about celebrations. It's about family and friends. It's just about good times, and that warm feeling that you get from being around people that you love. In relationship readings, of course, the Four of Wands can represent commitment, taking things to the next level. Sorry, Mama Jamaican's jumping out. Taking things to the next level, you know, so if you're in a dating situation, you may want to take things to the next level. If you are in a relationship, it may be time to solidify things, maybe engagement. All right, so let's go ahead and clarify that energy. And we get the Ace of Swords, definitely taking things to the next level, taking things in a new direction. So some of you are in relationships and you're really trying to be positive and take things to a new direction where things are just more loving and more committed. And, you know, your only challenge is, you know, whether you're feeling like you're able to connect to this particular person, or whether you have too many people that you're trying to connect with, and you're not going to be able to have this particular energy if you have multiple people. Some people can pull that off. They can have one really great relationship, and then other ones that kind of not radiate, what's the word I'm looking for, rotate around it, orbit around it, kind of like the moon orbits the sun, you know what I'm saying? So moving on to what's driving you, and this Ace of Swords is driving you. This Ace of Swords energy about taking things in a new direction. Excuse me, about, you know, being clear, getting mental clarity, being emotionally clear, you know, being vocally clear about what it is that you want, okay? Go ahead and clarify that, and we get the Hanged Man in the reverse, okay? So once again, we have some Pisces energy here. But if not, okay, the Hanged Man in reverse can also represent selfishness. It can represent, you know, feeling like a martyr, kind of like a victim. So whether you're dealing with someone who has that energy, or whether that's the energy that's driving you, because this is your energy, I'm sorry, this is internal energy. So for some of you, you're feeling like, you know, you're feeling a little bit selfish. You're feeling like getting your way, okay? You're feeling like, you know, maybe you feel like you've sacrificed too much previously, and now you're ready to get what you want, okay? Now, moving on to the advice card for this reading, we've got the Knight of Cups in the reverse. And the Knight of Cups in the reverse can address where you're being selfish, okay? The Knight of Cups can also address where you're being fake with people, or are you being moody? Are you being unrealistic? You know, is it unrealistic for you to think that after you've been taking someone for granted, that now you can just say, okay, I want things to be different, and they're just going to be different? Okay, and that, like I said, this can work vice versa, Aries. So if you're the person who is in a relationship and someone has been taking you for granted and now they're trying to turn things around, then that can also be the case too. But this is your advice. So the Knight of Cups, whether this is you, your energy, and you're trying, you know, you need to be more, quote unquote, clear and direct, which is why the Ace of Swords is here. But the Knight of Cups is about being unrealistic in romance, okay? Whether or not they fantasize relationships, and it's more about the romance than the actual emotions. And maybe that's why there's a difficulty to connect here, because you idealize relationships, right? You adore having romance. You adore having love, but it's not a very deep connection, okay? It's almost like you put more value on the doing than the connecting, if that makes sense. And it's very hard to connect to someone who feels like they've been taken for granted, okay? So the Knight of Cups in the reverse is about not taking people for granted and not leading people on and not being unrealistic about romance and relationships and, how people react to certain stimuli. And like I said, if there's a situation, not to say that you can't infuse the romance back, not to say that you can't work on the connection, you just can't expect that the other person is gonna like, boop, oh, you're back, you're ready to pay me attention, I'm ready for that too, because people have their own feelings and their own disappointments that they deal with, okay? Now, moving on to the external energy, we've got the Five of Wands in the reverse. So this could be a few things. It could be that maybe that other person doesn't want to fight anymore either. So maybe, you're at a lucky place where, okay, you're deciding that you don't want to take things for granted anymore. And guess what? They don't want to fight anymore either. So even though they may be disappointed by things that have happened in the past, it could be a situation where they don't, they're just not ready for any conflict, or they don't want any conflict. It could be, even though maybe nothing bad happened in the past, it could be that they want to work on harmonizing. If there is a situation where there were multiple people, it looks like, we're working on removing that, okay? Let's go ahead and clarify that energy, and we get the Magician, okay? Someone who is able to manifest what they want. This can represent a Virgo or a Gemini, okay? But if not, it's just someone who is very magnetic. You find them very attractive. You're attracted to their personality. You're attracted to them physically. It's just a person that really, they could have basically, quote unquote, anything they want from you. So, I know here with this Empress, we've got the Empress and the Hierophant, right? We've got mother and father here. So I didn't want to skip that because I've been looking at that and I'm like, am I going to bring that into the reading? Yes, I am. In the past, okay, the relationship between your mother and your father can play a very big role in your relationships now, okay? And maybe and this is, I think, a specific message that's going to resonate. It might resonate with a lot, but I think specifically for some people, that maybe whatever issues that you're having in your romantic life is based on the relationship that your parents had, okay? And, the Empress is not paired with the Emperor here. She's paired with the Hierophant. The Hierophant tends to do things for the sake of tradition, okay? Not necessarily the most loving of characters. All right, so if this is a situation where you viewed your mother as being very loving and nurturing, but then maybe your father was a little bit cold, maybe he was that traditional type of man, and depending on what culture you come from, that can mean a lot of different things. All right, because in some cultures, men are notorious for being providers, but they have whole entire lives outside of their families, right? There are some men culturally who think that it's okay to have multiple women as long as they're providing for their relationships. That's just an example, okay? Every culture is different. So depending on whatever your culture is, I feel like whatever the relationship your mother and your father had plays a big part into what's going on with you right now. And if you have a situation where it's like you want that loving and that nurturing, but you may identify more with that Hierophant traditional energy, then there will be some sort of a disconnect, and you're going to have to learn how to balance those energies, okay? And maybe there's someone who does that for you, and so you feel like you no longer want to take that person for granted anymore, and you're willing to focus on the good things you can have with that person versus all the things about that person that you don't appreciate or that you don't like. All right, and in the external factor, this particular person wants to create harmony with you. They don't want to have conflict with you, and they're the type of person that is able to do that. So maybe that influence, maybe this external influence is what's having you thinking about the fact that you've taken someone for granted. And whether this person is a water sign or whether it's just the fact that you want to be romantic with them and they're promoting that. All right, Aries. And for some of you, this could just be how people are seeing you. All right. They're seeing you as someone who is letting go of, situations that cause conflict, whether there has to do with, having other people vying for your attention and kind of getting rid of that. Okay, so people may be seeing you as someone who's working on, manifesting a more positive relationship. All right, moving on to your hopes and your fears. I think you're hoping for a reconciliation with someone, Aries, okay, with this Five of Cups in the reverse. It's, again, another card about, with the Five of Cups in reverse, it's almost like the Four of Cups in reverse. It's about, focusing on the good things versus all the things that went bad, okay? And it definitely can represent someone coming back from the past. Clarify that we get the Four of Swords in the reverse. So maybe you're coming out of a period of isolation, or maybe it's like someone who shakes things up for you, okay? Maybe this person brings a lot of chaos and you're like, maybe you like that. Who knows, okay? For others, though, maybe it's a fear of, missing out or losing, or I don't think it's a fear, though. I really don't. I know the Four of Cups, the Four of Jesus. The Four of Swords. The Four of Swords in the reverse can represent restlessness also. But I think that in some people, some people don't like to be calm. I'll just put it like that. Some people don't like that calm, contemplative energy. Like, they work well under pressure. They work well when things around them are kind of like, ooh. So maybe you have that kind of energy, or maybe you are hoping for someone who has that kind of energy. Okay? Is there anything else I want to say? Because for some of you, okay, I can see this. Maybe some of you are hoping to move on, because sometimes the Five of Cups in the reverse can represent moving on for a situation. So some of you are hoping to move away from someone who brings you nothing but chaos into your life. Okay, but I think that some of you are wanting to reconcile with someone that may shake things up for you. And with this outcome card of the Tower in reverse, I can see that. I can see you wanting to be with someone that may kind of shake things up, because maybe you need a good shaking up. All right, but also with the Tower in reverse, for some, this can represent a relationship that is just dragging out. Like, things are over, but you're not ready to make moves, because it can represent a fear of change also. For some of you, though, this can represent that, whatever disaster was looming, whatever disaster was headed towards you guys, you kind of escaped that somehow. So, cats with 9 lives, right? Let's go ahead and clarify this Tower moment, though. Ooh, Seven of Swords. Maybe some of you averted being found out that you were juggling multiple people. All right, so someone avoided being found out that they were either being untrustworthy in some way, okay? Let's just say it like that, or dishonest. Okay, someone, maybe some of you are avoiding a divorce, all right? Or maybe some of you are trying to avoid it, but you're just dragging things out. Maybe that's imminent for some of you. Okay? I feel like there's some overlap here. I feel like we may have some people who are separated, And, you know, it's like they're waiting for one situation to come to a complete end so that they can have this new great beginning with someone else, okay? And that may be a specific message for someone, because I just see the future energy. And when I see this Queen of Wands and this Knight of Pentacles, I definitely see a new beginning, a new start. Maybe taking things slow, but feeling good about that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe knowing that you don't need to rush into anything because you're looking for love and affection. All right. And also with the Seven of Swords, you know, sometimes the negativity is in our mind, okay? Because 7 is a swords card. So even though it can represent, you know, cheating or thievery or sneaking around and stuff like that, it also can represent someone who just assumes that those things are happening. And that comes from, you know, confidence issues and self-esteem issues and internal fears. So, you know, if that's an issue for some of you, you may be thinking that someone's doing something and maybe they're not. But you know, with this Two of Pentacles in reverse and this World in reverse here as the challenge, for some of you, I think that may be an issue, okay? And I think someone has gotten away with something, or, you know, maybe it was found out, but you didn't necessarily end the relationship. But I just don't know if that end is, I think it's imminent for some, okay? Because, you know, where there's clarity, there can't be dishonesty. There can't be a lack of trust, right? So that's something that you definitely have to work on. So if you were able to do that, if you were able to be honest with a person about things that you've done or things that they've done, and you guys move past that into a new direction, then congratulations, okay? But for some of you, I feel like there's something that's coming that you're just kind of dragging things out because you know what's going on, but you're just not ready to address it yet. Actually, you are ready to address it. The other person may not be ready to address it. All right? And this Four of Cups could be you, Aries, not wanting to be taken for granted anymore either. All right, guys? So that has been your love reading for October. Let me know what's going on in the comments, guys. If you want a personalized reading, I do that. So you can send me an email at divinelovetarot@gmail.com. All my information and my website as far as how to contact me are in the description bar below. And I will see you guys at the next video. Bye, Aries.